All right, with a show of hands, how many of us would like to stay back in Nigeria after graduation? Just, would like to stay back in Nigeria after graduation with a show of hands. Okay. So how many of you are sure of a job will be waiting for you after graduation? Like a job is waiting for you after graduation, you're sure of that? Okay. So the third question will be, how many of you would like to leave the country immediately after NYSC or before NYSC? Like you just want to japa, like right away? Okay, nice. The fourth question is, how many of you have immediate relatives living outside Nigeria? Like you're sure that if I call this person today, I'm in the US, I'm in UK, I'm in Ireland, the person would be really happy to receive me. How many of you? Okay. So the next slide, please. So yesterday I saw this DP on my friend's WhatsApp, and then I figured, okay, just send it to me. This relates really well with me. I'm a Ladokite. I spent 10 years in school from 2005 to 2015. And then, yes, I don't know if it's different with medical school now, but I spent 10 years in school. And then between 2005 to 2015 when I graduated, I calculated the number of days that ASU were on strike, and it was about 563 days. That's about 1.6 years. That's about 2 years of my life, 2 years of my life wasted due to ASU. Not talk of ALD strike, GOSU strike, and then the old LAUTECH or your TOTO, which amounts to another 2 years. So what you see on the next slide is, during those times, what I did was just to engage myself. I learned tailoring. I just started doing some kind of embroidery because, of course, LAUTECH then was synonymous with depression. It's either you are in school or you are out. Today is ASU strike, tomorrow is ALD strike, the next strike is GOSU strike. So the next slide, please. After a while, I sat down and then I thought about what I want to do with my life because, of course, it's either we are in school today or out of school today, and then together with some friends, we formed the Sage and Enamel Initiative. We later become, the next slide please, which later become the Sage and Enamel Foundation. And I'll just run through a couple of stuff that we did, and then I'm going to tell a story of how I became what I am today from here, LAUTECH, to what I'm doing currently. And I want you to relate with it. My goal here today is just to inspire, if just one person, to let you know that irrespective of what LAUTECH TOTO, the old strike, ASU strike, and all that, wherever it throws at you, it can become who you want to become with 4 pillars that I'll be discussing with you today. So we've done a lot of service humanity, like food drive. Next slide, please. Medical missions, and then next slide, please. And then we presented a check just yesterday to graduate medical class. And then I'll be running through, next slide, please. I'll be running through the 4 pillars that really helped me, that has really shaped me in who I am today. The next slide, please. 1, it's all about relationships. Has anyone heard about the 6 degrees of separation? Anyone? 6 degrees of separation. Now, there's this phenomenon that says the distance between myself and Dr. Adeyemi, for example, is just 6 people. I will know one person that knows one person one-on-one, that knows Aproko doctor one-on-one, that knows Jess in the store one-on-one, that knows her one-on-one. It's just there's this interconnection between people. The difference between myself, or the distance between myself and Obama, is just 6 people. When I graduated from LAUTECH, I had this friend in the US who has always said, Fikayo, I'm this person that I already knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to leave the country. I didn't want to stay in the country. I had that in mind. Then the Japa syndrome wasn't really a big deal. Everybody wants to travel out, but I knew I wasn't going to stay in the country. And I started making inquiry. I wrote, like a normal doctor, I wrote IELTS. I didn't pass IELTS, but I had a friend who has always said, he just called me one day. He called me one day and said, Fikayo, how much do you make per night then as a doctor? I made $4,000 per night, which is less than $10. He said, okay, just come to the US. And he has always pressurized me to come. And then I spoke with a client of mine that, I have a friend in the US who has always said, Fikayo, just come, leave everything in the country, just come, start all over again. And then she said to me, Dr. Adeyemi, you can try now. You can try, just try and give it a trial. And today, I have to tell you that after the woman encouraged me to try, I leveraged on my relationship. I went to the US. I did my master's degree, and I got into the PhD program. And let me tell you why. The PhD program too was leveraged on my human relationship. My boss then was a student of the PhD program, which I currently am now. And then she just introduced me to the assistant dean, and the assistant dean introduced me to my advisor, who just, the interview was just, hey, this is what I do. Are you interested in what I do? Which happens to align with what my own interest. And then she took me in as a student. Next step, by God's grace, I'll be done with my PhD program. What I want to tell you is, in life, relationship matters. The person sitting beside you, I tell people that I am not self-made. I am made because of the person who says, hey, you can apply for this. Hey, I know someone who knows someone. Connect to this person. So the first thing is relationship. Never look down on anybody. Never burn bridges. I don't burn bridges. I have some of my consultants that I still call today. Sometimes I just send text to them, even if I don't need them, because I know that one day I might need letters of recommendations. I might need, just something. Just keep in touch with people. Then the next slide, please. Great. That is one thing you must need, because this life has a way. I tell people that life has a way of balancing people. Sometimes you see, like when I was in final year, I had a receipt in medicine, and receipt about LAUTECH. May any one of you have receipt in LAUTECH as a medical student? Say amen. Because receipt in LAUTECH especially is not 3 months, it's about 6 months plus X, even if there's after strike. So then I had a receipt in medicine, and with the receipt, Ebola virus came, and then they had to shut down the hospital, and then the receipt lasted for about 6 months. Most of my mates then have started out jobs, some have, started NYC and all that. But there's a way life balances everyone. Life, I tell people that either someone is far ahead of you or someone is behind you. There's a way life balances us. But the difference between people who are successful and people who are not successful is grit. The determination that either life throws bad stuff at you or throw good stuff at you. You have your determination to be successful. And that is what has gotten me to where I am today. I was determined to leave Nigeria. I was determined to have a master's degree. I was determined to have a PhD degree. If you ask me the next things I want to do in life, I know that I was discussing with a senior colleague of mine yesterday, and then he was asking me why I still want to do a residency. And I said, even if it's a residency in Yoruba, I will do a residency in Yoruba, because I just want to have that residency. Yeah, I just want to have that residency. Let me have it. Okay, do you want a master's? I have a master's degree. You need someone with a PhD. I have a PhD degree. You need someone with a fellow. I have a fellowship. I just want you to connect with me, because I am from here. I am from LAUTECH. I lived in 5-star in under G. I had Expire. I had Amazing. I had feeling amazing in Alata. So this is me. I am a Lado card. Driving down, I saw where we used to read the 250 LH, tutorial blogs, the MKO, and all that. So this is real. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve if you are determined. The third point, which is the second to the last place, is delayed gratification. Doing house job, what is common then is people save up their 10 months salary and just buy a car or just do something. That's what is common during our set. But what I did was, because I knew I was leaving the country, I didn't even bother to buy a house. I didn't have a house in Lagos because I did my house job in Lagos. I was just, a lot of private practice from one hospital to the other, and then just trying to jump from one hospital to the other just to save cost on housing. It wasn't easy. It wasn't the best of, times for me, because I didn't have a house of my own. Most of my shirts would be with a dry cleaner, and then, go from one PP to the other, pick my clothes, look fresh, go back to the hospital, and then to the PP, just because I knew I had to save. Because I tell people, even if you want to travel out of the country, you need that fund. You need that money. You need that money to prepare for PLAB. You need that money to prepare for GRE, IAL, TSCS. So knowing what you want to become in life, you have to delay some instant gratification to become who you want to become. And then the last slide, the second to the last slide, which is the question. With the raise of hand, if you know that at any point in your life, it wasn't your relationship, greed, or delayed gratification that helped you, but another factor which can be called the God factor. With a show of hands, does anybody have that experience? And then which is the last slide? The last slide is God factor. I I really don't have to tell any story about the God factor because we all have experienced the God factor. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Adeyemi-Benson.